Player Centered Approach, Experiential Learning. Good morning, coaches. Today is the third in a series of four videos delving into a player-centered approach. The first on autonomy, the second on reality-based training are on my YouTube that you can also see on the Substack. And today's focus is experiential learning. With experiential learning, building off of the underlying ideas of autonomy and reality-based training to have good transfer for players from our session activities into the match experience. We want players to be able to experience those kinds of activities and those kinds of problems that are going to be represented in the game. If we cannot create the same kind of representation in our activities that the players can experience, they're not going to be as effectively transferable to the game. In terms of what that looks like, in the game we are faced with a variety of problems. We have to defend in the defending half, we have to defend in the attacking half, we have to attack in the attacking half and in the defending half. And through that myriad of different moments, we are faced with opponents, we are faced with teammates who change continuously. From game to game, we might not necessarily have the same players on our side. Similarly, we're not necessarily going to see the same opponents. And even if we do see the same opponents, they're probably going to approach their task differently than we do. Similarly, the way in which we want to think about how are we going to navigate those situations when we come across them, players are going to have to experience that for themselves. So in practice activities, we want to create the four moments that are alive within our activities, and players need to be able to solve problems. With our coaching points, we want players to be able to see possible solutions, but rather than dictate those solutions, we want to be able to guide them towards the kinds of information in the environment that is going to be applicable to how they can approach that problem. How far away are our defenders? What kind of opportunities does that afford you? Do you need to pass if you are dribbling wide, or if the defender is still backing off? Maybe you can dribble to commit and then make that pass forward. What would happen if? So giving players different tools to guide them towards potential solutions rather than dictating solutions is going to help them experience that and recognize the value or the challenge of different solutions to problems. Second, that feedback through experience, building on that idea of, if I try to dribble towards the defender and they continually back off, hey, that is a solution that might actually work in this situation. Conversely, if I dribble towards them and then they commit and I continue dribbling and they tackle, maybe next time I won't do that. Being able to experience that directly is going to give them the kind of feedback necessary in the activity that is going to guide them towards what works and what doesn't work. And last but not least, just general reflection. Being able to be on the same page about what principles we really want to delve into. In the attacking half, when we are defending, we really want to encourage our top three, our 11, our 9, our 7 to press quickly, force them wide so that we can win it on those outside areas. If we know that that is our principle, we want to press quickly to win the ball in those wide areas. Regardless of who our teammates are, we can approach that from we might need the 9 to press. On the other hand, if the ball is immediately played out wide to the opposing 2 and our 11 is closest, maybe they adjust their run and they are the first press and the 9 drops in or the 9 steps forward to cut off. But we can be fluid in how players navigate those if they are built on the same principle. We want to win the ball in those wide areas in the midfield. How can our top 3 work to solve that problem by continually adjusting to their teammates, to their opponents, and the overall parameters surrounding that task? So when we create our session activities, can we make sure that we are allowing players to experience directly the kinds of problems they will face in the game and help them solve those problems and recognize what works and what might work better? Experiential learning. Cheers.